Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we've got another Black Library review for you, and this time we're going to take a look at a book that I suggested in a place to start for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and that is Warstorm. This is the first book in the Realmgate Wars novel series, and it's a multitude of different stories by different authors. So we have three different stories that make up this book. We have Born by the Storm, which is written by Kyme, Storm of Blades, which is written by Hayley, and The Gates of Dawn, which is written by Josh Reynolds. All of these stories are fantastic in their own right, and all of them take us on different paths into different mortal realms and follow along different storm hosts and characters within those storm hosts. Born by the Storm is a story that follows Vander's Hammerhand and, well, his Hammerhands in the fight against Chorus Cool, while Storm of Blades follows another Storm host, and this time led by none other than Thostus Bladeborn, who is a little bit aggressive in his mannerisms, but he is actually in the realm of Chamon, the realm of metal, and he is seeking out none other than the Hammer of Sigmar himself, Galmaraz. Lastly, we have The Gates of Dawn by Josh Reynolds, and this is the introduction that we get to none other than Gardas himself, the legendary Hallowed Knights, Lord Selston. Now, we've got some things to discuss, so I'll talk about these as if they were three separate stories. So, definitely favourite characters in each stories. I mean, the first one for me, I really like Ionis Cryptborn in Born by the Storm. I think it's a really cool sort of character. He's Vandus' sort of, I guess, the right-hand man. He tells Vandus all these things. He's keeping Vandus on the straight and narrow path and sort of questioning any questionable decisions that Vandus makes. He's a really cool character. He's really ancient, and it's widely agreed that he is probably the most senior of all Lord Relictors in the entire Stormcast Eternals. For Storm of Blades, I really do like Thostus Bladeborn. I like his mannerisms, I like everything about the character. He's just that little bit impetuous and like willing to prove himself that he didn't get to be the first struck down, sort of eats away at him, and he wants to just prove himself more and more. And then lastly, obviously, my favourite character is going to be, without a doubt, Garda Steelsoul. He is just a fantastic character. I think when they were making Stormcast, they made Vandus, and Vandus is a very vanilla sort of character. He's a very vanilla sort of Stormcast, and this is not a bad thing because you need characters like Vandus in the universe. Without a character like Vandus, other more distinct characters don't feel distinct because there's no baseline. So characters like Vandus are very important. However, not talking about Vandus here, I'm talking about Gardas, and because of characters like Vandus, Gardas just seems that much more good. Everything he does is for others. He's just so self-sacrificing, and it makes, because of characters like Vandus that you get to read about prior to this, you really get that sense of selflessness that Gardas has, and it really sort of pushes the character more and more, which is really great in the way they've put these three stories out there, in that you get to see Gardas last, and it makes him seem that little bit more, I guess, good. And the fact that Vandus is first, because he is the most vanilla of all the Lord Selstons we meet in this book, it just helps sit it all really nice and well. All the characters do feel real, and like I was mentioning before, this is because of Vandus. I think putting Vandus' story first is just fantastic writing and fantastic planning, because having him there, this generic good guy, makes all the other characters and makes their quirks and traits that much better, and because of this, they all seem real, because everyone knows that guy, that normal dude, he comes into work every day, he just does his job, he goes home and leaves. There's nothing particularly flashy about that dude. He's not, a fantastic worker, he's not a bad worker, he's just a worker, and he just does this thing. And because we have a character like that in Vandus, it just, all these other characters get to really shine. All the stories, they do keep me guessing. There's some really nice, I guess, bits and pieces in there. If I wasn't so clued in on the Warhammer Age of Sigmar lore, I really do think the whole discovery of Galmaraz is really cool, although even that story does keep me guessing. I like the twists and turns that appear in Born by the Storm by Kyme, Vandus, and all that is really cool. And definitely the Gates of Dawn Gardas. I was actually first introduced to Gardas reading Plague Guard, and I actually hadn't read anything else with Gardas, and now I'm going back and filling in these pieces of the story with Gardas for myself, and when I read this, I realised this is the start of Gardas' story, and it's a really cool story that I am enjoying reading myself. Favourite part of the book, I guess, is the quest for Galmaraz. Yeah, I really do like it. Although definitely in the Gates of Dawn story, there's some really cool moments and fight scenes in there with Gardas. Sorry, not Vandus, Gardas. But they're probably my favourite bits and pieces. Scenes that make you feel strongly, and it's like the self-sacrificing scenes of Gardas are definitely up there with some of them, and also the talks between Vandus and Ionis are really good as well. That it sort of shows this, I guess, almost mentor and student, even though like one of them is clearly more senior. Like Vandus is the most senior. He still listens to Ionis, and it's really great. Emotion-wise, like all these stories do take you on different sort of paths. I mean, you feel some of Vandus' regret that he feels throughout the stories. Gardas' just self-sacrificing nature, it comes across really strongly, and definitely Thostos' need to prove himself is really great. Some of these stories do go quicker than others, and like some of them keep you more, I guess, wanting than others. And I would say without a doubt that I think definitely probably I would say the last story, definitely the Gates of Dawn, is the one that really keeps me on my toes. There's nothing sort of that is wrong with any of the stories, I think, and like they're all definitely keep you reading, but I definitely think Gates of Dawn is by far the best story book. Plot points, I guess, or dislikes about the book. I mean, with any of these, it's sort of like that every story is much more compact in a book like this. They're not sort of massive stories. It's all sort of like 3 novellas, not even novellas at that though, combined into one book. And they can feel quite short at times. And that is not, anything that's wrong. That's how these books are put together. But that is definitely, I think these stories all could have gone on for a bit longer and been stretched out and put some more into them if they were given the time for a full book. All in all though, like I mentioned in my getting started with Age of Sigmar fiction, I really think this is one of the books that I would recommend to someone new getting into Warhammer Age of Sigmar. It's a fantastic book that will give you sort of these 3 different characters you can go off and follow on their own paths across the mortal realms. They all have really great stories to follow. All in all though, I think this is a brilliant starting point for a book, and I guess a rating out of 8 Realm Stones for me, I think this is going to be a solid 4 out of 8 Realm Stones. There's nothing bad about these books, but like this book, there's nothing, I guess, over the top great about it. But unlike even Gardas' story, for stories about him, this is sort of rather generic. But it's a great start to all 3 of these characters, and they all go from strength to strength, getting more and more written about them in the mortal realms as we go on. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any Black Library books you'd like us to review in the future, please do let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget also to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the Black Library reviews that we do in the future. A special thank you to all the people who support the channel on Patreon. You're all fantastic people. Thank you so much to our Sinful Guard Militia, Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Chaos Spawn and Soren, and our Sinful Free Guild Regiment members James and AJC. Thank you so much for your additional support for the channel. If you'd also like to help more and support the channel on Patreon, you can do so by following the link down in the description of the video down below. Lastly, in the description as well, you'll find a link to our Discord server where you can come in and make your requests even more heard about what you'd like to see us review from Black Library over there. But also, you can come chat with me and other members of our fantastic community there. But that's it for today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, stay safe, stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. And also, read those books on your goddamn shelf.